Hello, everyone. This is Real Talk for Real Estate at the Real Estate Store in Montrose, Colorado. I'm Michelle Klippert.
I'm Peggy Evanoika.
I'm Michelle Keltz.
And actually, we have a very serious topic that we're going to talk about today, and it's beware buyers and beware sellers. This topic has been coming up in our office for many reasons. I'm going to start with Michelle. We're going to talk about it's beware buyer and beware seller. But Michelle, tell a little bit about what our warning is to buyers and sellers.
Well, several months, or actually could have been many years ago, but I know it's still continuing. A friend of mine was looking for a rental property, and rentals are hard to find in this town. And it's a tight market. You got to jump on them when they come up. And she saw an advertisement for a rental property, and it wasn't very expensive. And they asked, they wanted you to take care of the property, which was why it wasn't very expensive. But anyway, it was a great property, great price, and she was all excited. So she immediately emailed them, send us your email address. So she emailed them, and they responded back that the reason the price was so low was because that the seller or the owners were out of the country doing mission work, and they just need somebody to take care of the property where they were going to be gone for about 6 to 8 months. And so that's why it was a great price. It was a beautiful property, and she was all excited. So she got as much information. They wanted first and last deposit. You could just wire the money to them. They would get you a key. They would meet you at the house, blah, blah, blah. It was great. And she was this close to doing it. And she thought, well, I'm going to go drive out and just look at the house. So she drove out to the house, and it was up on Spring Creek. She drove out to the house. She drove down the driveway, and she was getting ready to turn around, and the owner came out. The house was listed. She saw the sign there. So she pulled in and she pulled out, and somebody walked out. And so she goes, oh God, what do I do? So she stopped and she walked in up to the guy, and she says, are you the owner or the renter? And she wasn't sure what to say. He goes, no, I own it. She goes, but you're renting it? And he said, no, it's for sale. And she said, well, I was told that it was for rent, and she told him the whole story. And he's like, you were the third person to drive down my driveway this morning in one day. And I don't know if they just posted that advertisement for the rental that morning or what. So she apologized, and she walked off the property, and she went. I know the gentleman did contact the police about it. But she went home, and she probably sent a very nice email to the person who was advertising the house for rent. But she was so excited. She thought all her answers,
right.
Her prayers were being answered. She was just ready. It was just like everything was falling into her lap, and she was so close. I'm so thankful that she did not. She called me, thank goodness. Mm-hmm. She called me, and she says, Michelle, what do you think? And I said, sounds too good to be true.
Right.
But I thought, but you never know. And so she went out to the house, and I'm thankful she did, because she would have gone home. She would have wired that money. She would have lost all that money, and she would have gotten nothing for it.
And this has actually happened within our own office too. We had
so
a listing so many times, and a third party, wherever it is on the internet, and sometimes it's very social areas on the internet. Maybe you're on it for looking to buy or sell, or maybe you're on a site, even a social media kind of site that's being posted, and that third party is hijacking the listing pictures. Right. They're putting that information in and literally putting it out there for rent because they're getting all this deposit money.
And it sounds so valid.
Right.
It's so believable.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And it happens so often.
Right. So it's a really beware, everybody, and beware buyer, because you may be sending money out, but beware seller, because this could be a dangerous situation with people walking around your home.
Right.
I have single ladies, elderly ladies who own their home. This would be a very scary thing for them to have, because I've had people say, well, I just looked in the window. So, well, what if, this is a scary thing.
That's scary to think about.
So, this is a serious topic that we want to put in the forefront once again, because it happens, guys. It happens. If you see the sign, call the agent. Never assume that is going to be for rent,
Yeah.
call that agent and make sure that house is,
And
Just for
don't
sale.
wire money until
Don't
you're
wire
very
money.
sure.
Do
Do
not.
not do it.
do not wire
Yeah.
that money, because you're not seeing anybody up front. They're taking the money and run.
Yeah.
You know, it's a scary thing. So
It really is.
thanks for bringing up that topic, Michelle.
Yeah.
The one that I want to talk about is actually, it's about for sale by owners. And the situation that has happened to me in the last, just in a couple of weeks, I've had several people come to me. And we got to understand in our market, in a great market, and this could be in Montrose, Colorado, it could be in Denver, Colorado, I don't care where it is, or anywhere else in the United States. But when it's a really good market, that many times people will stick out their sign and say for sale by owner.
Absolutely.
And
Or do on a lot of media, which is.
right. There's
That's fine.
different media sites that you
Yeah.
can put in for sale by owner, that type of thing. But what's happening, because we know the statistics is every 2 to 5 years, people turn their properties.
Typically.
And that's a typical transaction that happens. So now what I'm seeing is people who bought 2 to 3 years ago for sale by owners. They're showing up to me. In fact, I had one say, "Oh, never do that again. Here's my situation." And here's where the problem lies, is that people, they don't know how to fill out their contracts. They don't know the legalities of those contracts. They don't know about disclosures. I'm sorry, had to bring
Well,
date.
for instance,
Yes,
years ago, a buy-sell agreement was 4 pages.
exactly.
And now they're
18.
18 pages, and every page and every section is important.
Yes, and then every section has legal responsibilities
It does.
to it,
It does.
whether it's to buyer or seller, and that's how we protect them. But let me tell you about some of the instances that have happened. Like, I had one person come up to me and said, I need to sell, but I have a huge septic problem. And I said, septic? Who'd you buy the property for? Well, it was a for sale by owner. I just trusted them. They didn't go through any of their due diligence, no inspections that they needed. So here's this person now having to purchase a $12,000
Right.
septic system, where their cost for their real estate agent would have been so minimal in comparison,
I know.
and protected them.
And understand that probably the seller was not trying to cover up anything. When he flushed, it worked.
Right.
And he told the buyer, and the buyer said,
Yes.
okay, that's fine. Neither one of them knew what to look for.
And sometimes that's very true, because we want to look in the best for
Sure.
others.
Sure.
And sometimes it is not true,
That too.
where you could be prey to a situation like that. So that was just one thing. The other thing is that one person came to me and they wanted to sell the acreage that they thought they had, which was, they thought they had something like 7 to 8 acres. They have 5 acres. And in the end, they're saying, who's the liable party? And I said, please tell me about your transaction with your realtor. Well, I did it for sale by owner.
Yeah.
Well, did you not look at documents? Did you not? And there are many people who are very savvy. We all get this, that
Oh,
they
of
could
course.
do this.
Right.
But many people aren't. And this is why they hire us to be professionals to help them through that. You said a quote, Michelle. What was it? If you go in the courtroom, what?
If you go to the courtroom, you're not going to go without your lawyer. So don't go to the closing table without your real estate agent. It's
That's
just
so good.
smart.
It's just smart.
business.
It's
So
smart.
I really think this is a trend of things that we're going to see. I mean, we're going to have to be problem solvers on this other end. We're going to have to be disclosure people on this other end.
Right.
And it is going to cost the seller. Because what we do know is that maintenance does not add value, but things that are deferred maintenance brings down value,
Absolutely.
guys. So they may have bought it for this price, but now they're stuck with a property that has some sort of a deficiency that they're going to
Exactly.
have to provide.
And not only maintenance, but when you've got a buyer and a seller and they are friendly and everything is good and they want, the seller wants to sell and the buyer wants to buy, it sounds good. So does the seller convey by general warranty deed, special warranty deed, representative's deed? there are a number of deeds in the state of Colorado
Right.
that are legal and are used in certain instances.
Right.
What does the buyer want to receive? He doesn't know, and that's okay. He's not supposed to know. That's what we're for. That's what the professional is for. That's just one of probably 15 different
Oh, at
items that we
least,
go
yes,
through.
yes.
We go
And is that an important thing?
Oh, my
Absolutely, it's
goodness.
important.
And
So,
you may not realize it until you start to sell.
right. So what I'm seeing is value of where they could have been with a real estate agent to value of what their property is now is very, I mean, it's worrisome for everybody. And we're fixing situations.
We are.
So it is a buyer beware. And not only that, but we start talking about how did they transfer water?
Oh, yeah.
Michelle, you know, right?
Yeah, because it's not always transferred with the property. You go
Right.
to just a county to the north and a county to the south, and it's different.
Right.
So you sell your property, but you didn't transfer the water. You don't have any water now.
And you would actually have to buy those water rights. They're
Yeah.
separated from the land.
Yeah.
They are.
They don't
So
go together.
what kind of surprises are you going to get? Are you understanding your plat? Do you understand the easements along with that? If someone's coming through your property,
Do you
They-
understand the deed?
what, yes.
Some
the
things
deed.
are on the deed and you don't know that.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
So I think this is just something like, who's to blame? Well, it is the culture that's making that happen. That same kind of culture could happen on the internet someday. Someone might just push the button and buy a house. We are still going to be cleaning these things up
Right.
because for years, because you've got soils and waters and easements, and I mean, we can go
Right.
on, and inspection and disclosure. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned.
It
and
really is.
it-
And
Yeah,
just last week, we had an agent in our office that had some personal friends walk in. They had a buyer and a seller, and they wanted a full explanation of, would she mind explaining what the contract meant? And they were well qualified in their field,
yes.
but their field is not helping people buy and sell real
Right,
estate.
right,
Bottom line.
right.
So,
Smart people, but not realtors.
no, not.
Correct, correct.
Well, and I have something I want to talk
Yes.
to people about.
Yes.
So the other day, I went out and got the mail and I got a postcard. And then a few days later, I got another postcard. And I thought, well, this is cool. It says, there we go. It says, house is wanted. I'll buy your house.
Yay!
I know. So my husband said, you want to sell your house? I said, well, what are you talking about? I couldn't believe it. We have talked to people that have received numerous cards,
Yes.
a number of people. I've had the sad experience of visiting with someone that made a call and said, yes, I want to sell my property. I'll go ahead and sell it. And understand, very well qualified in their field.
Mhm.
But this person told them, I will give you, and as it turns out, it was about 65% of what it was assessed at, not even appraised at.
Excuse me.
No appraisal done. Going through the one page and one addendum buy-sell agreement, it was very obvious that the person that sent the postcard is, in my opinion, trying to be a predator, trying to take advantage of someone saying, well, you know, I'm going to give you money and all you have to do is sign here and it's going to cost you to talk to anyone. Wrong. The first thing I want everyone to know is CMA, comparative market analysis. They are done complimentary. I don't know of an agent in the Montrose Association of Realtors that has ever charged for one.
Right.
If
Right.
they have, there's 100 others that haven't. They're complimentary. Again, go to a professional. Don't call someone that has contacted you. Find out what your property is worth and find out what your options are. I am so saddened
Oh, yeah.
about this person that has signed this agreement.
And understanding that even off that assessed value, our values may even be higher.
Assessed
So
is not
here-
market.
It's
It's
so,
not market value.
here's someone's giving away their property potentially for up to 90,000 less than what
Absolutely.
they could have got. And I mean, I'm talking a lot of money here. And they've signed a
I
contract
do.
and can you tell just a little bit of how this kind of idea is working as far as the dates? I mean,
Oh, my
you saw
goodness,
something.
I can tell you, and the one that I have experienced is that they're going to close in 30 days. And at that closing, the buyer will give the seller 20,000, but wait, keep back 5,000 to make sure that the seller moves out. But then the final and the balance of the funds, which is going to be way over 100,000,
right.
is not going to be paid until October and November. In this little contract, it states that they are not going to keep it. They're going to put it on the market. They're going to sell it.
They're going to sell it. They'll be
They are
flipping
gonna
it right
make
in
a
front
profit
of
on
you,
it.
making a profit, and then taking that money and then perhaps selling you off. But hey, they've got quite the profit. If you've got 90,000 in profit
Yeah,
and someone's actually signing that. But once again, we're coming back to, we need to tell them we are of value for giving these analysis,
right.
telling them what the situation is.
Mhm.
I too believe this is predatory. I believe it's predatory on the sellers. I know we have predatory in many, many ways
Right.
Throughout real estate. It used to be prior to the recession, we had predatory lending.
Oh, yes.
We had so it's just one more avenue that you're saying, you have to beware, you have to.
And understand what they're doing. I believe it's not illegal.
No,
I mean,
oh,
you
of
know,
course it's not.
you could take it to an attorney and maybe someone would fight it and it would be a long court battle, but from the onset, it's not illegal. But gosh, it's not right.
Oh, no. And
You
there
know-
has to be something about ethics with that we have to
It
feel.
does.
I mean, our profession, we work so hard, even within our office, is to be ethical and make sure the buyer and seller understand every word,
Everything.
know everything, and feel confident in their
I think
transactions.
the one thing, if nothing else, that I want to get by to people, I want them to remember is if you get a card and somebody says, or a phone call,
Yes,
and someone says, you know
Yes.
what, I'm gonna buy your house, but I need you to sign it today because the deal is gonna be off by 11 o'clock tonight. or
Right.
I have all
something
these
like
other
that.
people who are gonna do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Right.
yeah. And they're hard sells.
Right,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing.
Yes,
Call a professional.
yes.
Or call a friend.
Call
Yeah.
a
Get a
friend.
second opinion.
Yeah,
for God's sakes.
absolutely,
I mean, tell your
absolutely.
friend that you're gonna meet tomorrow for coffee.
Right.
Or somebody from church or
Right.
a kid, if
Your
you're an
hairdresser.
elderly person, your
Right.
hairdresser.
Your
for
barber.
God's sakes.
Yes, exactly.
And say,
Your
hey,
mechanic.
this is what's going on.
Mhm.
Does that sound right to you?
Mhm.
Because even though it may not be red flagging you because you're really excited about the opportunity,
Right.
it will red flag somebody else who's not so excited about that opportunity
Yeah,
for
right.
you.
I agree, Michelle.
We have
I
so
think
many
it's
people that
verbalizing
say,
because now we have people, once again, just like what I talked about it, backtracking, coming to us
Oh,
and say,
gosh.
what do I do? What do I do? Oh, gosh, if they just would have come
Ask
at the
first.
beginning.
Ask first.
And then there wouldn't be into this lawsuit or whatever's going
Right.
to happen coming out of this. But again, this is a serious topic and I'm not so
is.
sure how, I don't know how else to convey the value of getting a professional, the value of what it would be to pay someone to help you. And because at the end of the day, it's going to cost you an awful
So
lot
much
more.
more.
So much more, so much more.
Just give us a chance to give you the information and do the professional thing that we know how to do. Take that information, assess it, do what you want to with it,
But at least you have the
but
information.
at least you've got the information.
You've got it. We feel good about it. And whatever your decision is after that, then
And
at
that's
least
fine.
you know. Yeah, we know that you're walking
Yeah.
with at least even the minimal
Yeah.
information
Yeah.
that can
Which
make
one?
it do what you want.
There you are.
Yeah, and you get there. So again, it's important. This is important. And we try to talk about in Real Talk for Real Estate, and we try to talk about things that are not only valid but are important, and that if you are an agent and you're watching this and you're concerned about a neighbor or you're concerned about one of your clients doing the same thing, send this to them.
Yeah.
Let them just listen so that you don't have your friends, your clients, your clientele doing the same mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's from the rental perspective or getting a postcard, please Send it to people, make them aware, and make them knowledgeable. And I think knowledge is power. We all know that
Absolutely,
here.
it is.
Is knowledge
And,
is
you know,
power.
we're always here for you.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, here at the real estate store. So on just a little happier note.
Yes.
Now that we've been so serious, like
Kind
it's
of a
like,
down,
yeah,
serious,
but
I know,
you know,
right?
we gotta
Yeah.
kind of put that in perspective for y'all. But be sure to check in with us on Friday
Yeah.
because we're once again are doing the virtual open houses. So we'll have some houses for you to see on Friday at 1:00. Note to self: if you saw last week and someone was sideways like this, it's because you never turn your phone after you start the broadcast.
This
for
is a work in
FaceTime.
progress,
This is
but
a
we're
work in
learning.
progress. No, we definitely are learning. So we won't have any sideways people or sideways houses
That's
this
true.
year-
That's
this
exactly.
week. So do check us out this Friday at 1:00 for our virtual open house. And we, as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of Real Talk for Real Estate. If you have any topics you want us to talk about, send us a little note. We'd be happy to research if we don't know
Right.
or be able to discuss things with you. And on behalf of Michelle, Peg, and myself, we thank you for being a part of our day. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.